Can you guess what I'm holding right now in my fingers? It's a pen. However, this may not look like any pen you've ever seen. There's no ink, there's no eraser. In fact, it'd be quite useless to draw with this on paper. It'd actually be more accurate to say that this is a stylus, and it only works with a special type of hardware called a drawing tablet. Now, unfortunately, this whole process I'm about to describe is entirely digital and very visual in nature. The ideal thing for me to do here would be to turn this whole screen around and show you that instead of my face, but I'm just gonna have to improvise, and you're just gonna have to use your imagination. So, I'll be describing my very simplified process of how I create a digital illustration. Very simple, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but firstly, you want to start by having a graphics tablet with a pen just like the one I showed you. Then you'll need a piece of software for painting. Something like, Photoshop, Krita, GIMP, Clip Studio Paint, anything that strikes your fancy. You can find a ton of them online. Now, what I like to do is begin by finding references. And reference images, are important to any painting, whether it be digital or traditional, which is on pen and paper or canvas. You want to have a concept of what you're drawing, so you get the proportions and anatomy right, and also, so you know how to add the color and lighting later on. Then, I like to start with a nice, loose sketch. This gets the pose or scene down and really helps to figure out the composition and just establishes the foundation. Think of it a lot like building a house. You don't start by building walls or rooms. You start with the skeleton, like the foundational wooden support beams, and then you go from there. Now after that, I like to add my local color. Now, local color is the base color of an object. Think of an apple. Pretend I'm holding one right now. It's like a mid-tone red, a bit of yellow at the top, It's the color you get when an object has no strong light source, just like the kind of default color. And you use that color to color in the sketch. And after that, I like to add the shadow. Now, you can see where the shadow should fall, simply by studying the light source. And actually, a good prop for this would be the shirt I'm wearing, which is, it's yellow. And a lot of people, when they're, beginner artists, they're tempted to start by adding, kind of black shadows. But in fact, you can see the shadow's more dependent on the color of the object, the local color. So, it's more of just a darker yellow kind of thing. In fact, you can see around this area more of like a blue lighting of the shadow from a light source over there. And then after that, you want to add the lighting. And this is where I like to paint over the sketch that I initially drew. This is what we call rendering the painting. It's a process that makes it look really 3D and pop out. Think of like the old Renaissance masters, how they used references to make these photorealistic, well, there are no photos in their time, but, photorealistic paintings. And that's what you want to do here for my process, is to use your references to guide you on this journey. And that's why I told you to gather those references at the beginning, because you need them to know what you're drawing. Now after that, it's a matter of just using all these fundamental steps to create the painting that you desire. Now, obviously this is very simplified and a bit reductive, as I can't go into too much detail for this speech, but this is the foundation of what I like to do, the steps I take. The hardest part of learning to paint is knowing where to start. And whether you intend to do this yourself or simply watching this for explanatory purposes, I hope it helps. And hey, maybe it might even encourage you to try it for yourself. So, thank you.